We are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 49, and we are joined by the life changing Joe Ocasio. How's it going, Mr. Ocasio? Good evening.
It is going fantastic. I'm having a great evening. Thank you, Ray. Thanks for having me on the show. Can't wait to speak with you on Respect the Craft. I just got done with a whole day of training people, changing their lives. It was an awesome day. And now we get to talk about my favorite thing in the world, pro wrestling.
Oh, definitely. Thank you. And again, I'm ready here to. It's going to be a life changing experience here on Respect the Craft. So this should definitely be fun. And here we go. Already in the chat, we got someone you know very well, Chris Barton. We'll be
Yeah,
talking about him in a little bit. So
yeah, we sure will.
we're going to get into that. But before we get into all the questions and all the stuff I have for you here, I have to ask you the one question I ask everyone, and that is when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean for you?
Pro wrestling is one of the most unique art forms, I think, in the world. It's so dynamic on many different fronts, right? So it's an athletic performance that's designed to invoke an emotional response from an audience. A lot like um, other forms of entertainment, but it's so unique and so special. And there's just there's it, to be able to have hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, whatever people sitting in the palm of your hands, waiting on every action that you do. There is an art to that, and that's why wrestling is a craft. It's a very unique art form. So that's what it's always meant to me, man. Yeah.
Got you. There you go. There we go. We got someone else that's saying some good things about you here. The big boofa himself, Desmond Cole. This dude's a gem. He's helped out more than he even knows. There you go. That's always some great things.
That's
Desmond's also been a part of the podcast, so always good to
that's my
have him
bro.
around.
He I was I saw his very early stages. He was training at the school I was at,
Yep.
trainer at, and just what he's become is phenomenal. He's so unique, so good, and thank you for that, man. But hats off to you, Desmond.
No, definitely. This is another reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast as well, is
Yeah,
because I've kind of gone through almost that whole group of, again, I've known you guys for
yeah,
going on like 6 years now. It's been
yeah,
insane how time flies. So
yeah,
definitely I had to get one of the mainstays here. But here we go, Chris. Again, we're gonna be talking about that matchup in a little bit because he's already trying to throw in June 4th. We'll be talking about that. We have the
yeah.
graphic
He's
set,
a
so
disrespectful. We'll get to that. We'll get to it.
we definitely will. But before we get to all the remarks and all that, let's get to this because congratulations are in order because this happened recently as well. Let's talk a little bit about this experience. How was
Yeah,
that for you getting to be all elite, getting to have that opportunity with AEW?
man, it was awesome. I don't even know how to. I'm trying to think of the words to process it and put it there. It was really validating for me because I got injured many years ago in 2016, and I had a couple of major. I never got injured, and I had major injuries in a row, and it took me out. At that time I was 24 years old or 25, and things were starting to go very well for me. So like the escalator ride was going up. I hadn't really reached the top yet, but I was starting to go up, and things were starting to really take off. And right before it took off, those things happened and really delayed my momentum. And I took a long time away from wrestling. I needed to reevaluate my life. I needed to make sure that, the biggest realization getting hurt for me was you can't be an athlete forever. At some point, your body, doesn't matter how great you are, or if you have the best career, if someone's advised going to just tell you no, it's time to turn off. And then what? And then it wasn't, I used to get so mad when people like, what's your backup plan? But I realized it's not a backup plan. It's what do I do after this is over? Because I have to do something, right? That was the biggest wake up call from that. So I did
Yeah.
establish myself, and that's when I took fitness like super seriously because I know, hey, I could instruct people for life, and I have the personality for it, and I really enjoy and genuinely enjoy helping people. So I almost thought my wrestling career was over. I was basically hanging on by a thread, doing a couple of shows a month, if that. From like 2017 to 2019, I was basically done in 2019, and then I started tagging again with my partner Jason Carrion for Team Talent, and I was just doing that kind of for fun because he wanted to just get back in the ring. So the reason why I'm giving you this whole backstory is because to now fast forward to 2022. He has since stopped wrestling. I had to make a decision. What am I going to do? Am I going to keep wrestling? Do I really want to do this, or is it time to hang it up? And I got that itch back and that fire back, and I'm like, I'm going to give this 100%. That's when I decided it's time to use my real name. It's time to implement my real life a little bit, expose who I truly am. And so getting that opportunity was just purely validation to know that, I strive to start getting these opportunities years ago. I thought that was done. And to have it was awesome. The atmosphere back there is great. I saw a lot of people that I had interacted with from the past. What's funny is I was Dax Harwood's last independent wrestling match before he
Oh,
got to
really?
WWE.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And it was this company, it was like in this barn in North Carolina. I also wrestled Adam Page on that same show. And I also was involved in a match with Bobby Lashley on that same show. It was this very random show that was just so like important randomly in my life. So when I saw them, I brought it up. And because of the location of where it was, like, oh my God, yeah. And it was just cool to have like those moments of reconnection and just seeing them like, oh man, I'm so happy that you're here. Seeing Jay Lethal there. Sanjay Dutt is one of the nicest human beings on the planet. When he actually had the same injury as me, tore his Achilles. And I remember years ago, Mike Law actually had connected us because he was looking for someone in wrestling who had the same injury and how it was. And I had never seen him in person, though. This is the first time we got to just have face to face. We've been online friends for like 2 years. And it was just, dude, yeah, it was just great, man. UBS Arena is sweet. And just, yeah, man, it was just such a cool experience. So fun.
No, that's awesome. And again, perfect you telling that backstory because it answered my next question because I was
Sure.
gonna ask what created that evolution for you to go by Joe Ocasio. Because again, for those that definitely know you, they remember the name Jack Gallo. Because
Yeah.
that's how I was introduced to you years
Yeah.
ago as well.
Mhm.
So seeing that change, and again, it's been for the better because like we see again the rise has kept going here with
Yeah.
the
100%, man. You know going kind of goes into how this whole industry works. And when I performed as Jack Gallo, I always just used a stage name just to use one to be different. A friend of mine came up with a name and it just sounded cool. I'm like, oh, Jerry Gallo, my cousin Vinny, Jerry Gallo with the C. I'm like, people are they're gonna somehow Jack Gallo sounds enough. And then David Spade, I think, on another show was actually Jack Gallo. I can't remember which one. But either way, that was why I used it. It was a familiar sounding name. It was Italian, but okay, people remember. But there was no rhyme or reason. And back in the day, I used to go by the Protector of Professional Wrestling. That was the idea behind that character. The reason why I started it was because this was during like the really hardcore PG era. And I was the pro wrestler that wanted to destroy sports entertainment. That's how I started. But
gotcha.
over time, wrestling evolved, and that character kind of didn't fit when I was trying to get into a place like Evolve or Dragon Gate or these companies that were pro wrestling companies in a sports entertainment dominated mainstream. So at some point I just became Jack Gallo. And then someone once asked me like, well, who is Jack Gallo? And I was like, I started giving, oh, well, I'm someone who overcame this. I go, but who is Jack Gallo? And I couldn't freaking answer that question. And I realized it didn't really matter how good my matches were, how good of a wrestler I was. I didn't have a solid foundation of a character for all that I could do. I could speak, I can do this. I'm like, that really bothered me. And a big reason why when I decided I'm going to go for this solo again, because Team Talent had its own whatever, but I'm going to do this. So I just need to do something fresh that will give everybody like I can explain to you who Joe Ocasio is, in 2 seconds. Innovator, motivator, personal trainer, business owner, life changing, Joe Ocasio. You get it. You hear the tagline, you get it. Okay, this guy is, a fitness
Yeah,
instructor.
it connects. It connects very quickly. Yeah.
So that's why, what I'm saying. And but yeah, no, I mean it was, but it was really a hard decision to make. Before Chris Barton became a disrespectful little prick, I actually had a conversation with him about using my real name. And I remember, it was a difficult choice. It was a difficult decision because I'm like, a lot of people do know me as Jack Gallo. Is it worth it to go this direction and do a complete relaunch? And but like you said, man, it's 100% been for the better, and I'm happy I went that direction.
No, definitely. I remember seeing the first vignette you put out for the gimmick change and having that become something. I was like, I'm not sure what this is yet, but it caught my eye.
Yeah.
So and then seeing what it's become, it's definitely again it's worked out, and again people are buying or gravitating to it, or buying into it, and definitely wanting to see what comes next.
Well, the truth is,
So
people are saying that I really do help change people's lives, and who doesn't want to get on that train? I mean, come on, Ray.
hey, I said it at the project. I said it on
Yeah.
commentary. I said it. I was like, hey, I was hoping when you're looking at the crowd, I was like, I want my life changed. Why not? And now we're
Yeah.
having it here
Yeah.
at
Now we're
Respect the
having to hit
Craft.
a lot less violent way.
Yeah. Let's keep it going here. We have some more comments as well. We got Vince Steele, another former member of the podcast here, saying, "Sup, brother? I see you doing your thing." There we go.
Oh
Hey, we
yeah.
got Cliff in the chat saying
Oh
you've helped
wow.
him out as well. There you go.
Thanks, Cliff and Vinny. We went. We were Ace OGs back in together, and Cliff I helped train in the ring. So both real good dudes right there.
There you go. And here we go. We had the Public Enemy, the Project Champion, TJ
TJ
Marconi.
Marconi.
Hey
So,
again.
so you want to hear this? You're gonna like this, Ray. So
Here we go.
apparently, TJ and I were talking about this. Apparently, there's two guys out there who look identical to us. I think one guy's name is Slater Quaid, the other is Howard Freeze, and their tag team name is the Carney Arnies. And apparently, they have this amazing Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions, and they dress as Arnold Schwarzenegger and wrestle as Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know if they've debuted yet, but I've heard a lot about them. So, I mean, it's not me, though, and it's definitely not TJ. But I've heard that they're out there. So, yeah, we got to be prepared for them, apparently.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting to see. I've heard TJ's impression, but if these guys are any better, then
It
has
sounds
to
a little
be.
bit like this, I bet. It'd be crazy, amazing. Everyone would love it. But it wouldn't be me.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Let's keep it going here. Hey, look at this. We got SP Anderson saying
Oh,
changing
sweet.
lives. There we
SP, man, I
go.
hope you're feeling better. I heard the bad news. I heard you got the vids. Hope you get through that well, man. Yeah, SP's a good dude. Great referee, man. I
Definitely.
told him I would definitely help him out. I know he's been having some issues with his back and his legs. And I told him I would stretch him out the next show. Of course, as long as he keeps in mind that I went out of my way to help him when I might need his help in the ring.
Hey, there's that as well.
It's just for fair calls. I asked for
Yeah,
fairness. I'm not asking for anything extra.
definitely. Here we go. Vince Steele saying it's still a good name. I guess he was talking about that change as well. Yeah, again, Joe Ocasio has been, hey, it's keeping it
Joe,
real. It's keeping it work.
no baby. Yeah, oh yeah.
There we go. And here we go. Cliff putting you over once again there. Wrestler, personal trainer, and amazing human being, Joe Ocasio. There you go. That sells it right there.
Thank you.
Then
man.
we got Too Hot Steve Scott saying handsome man. There you go.
That sexy beast. I mean, you ever see him? Jeez. Every
There
time
you
he
go.
walks past me, I just start sweating and I want to smack that booty.
Well then, let's keep it going here, because now let's start talking about some wrestling here. Let's talk a little bit about Full Faith at the moment. You
Yeah.
have that coming up. You're currently the reigning and defending Full Faith Wrestling heavy. Oh, there we go.
The tag team championship.
One half of the tag team champions right there.
And
then there we go. The Full Faith
yeah,
heavyweight champion.
I am
Look
the full
at that.
heavyweight. Look at this championship. I mean, how beautiful is this thing?
Look at that. All the gold there.
Just fits around my waist so perfectly. So perfectly.
There we go. But let's talk about that, because also not only are you holding those championship belts, but you're also life-changing as you've now aligned yourself with a great group of talent here. Let's show them here as you have it's filled with all the gold there. As
Yeah.
you have Marty Flames, AEW's own Caesar Bononi, you have Dr. Sleep himself, Anthony Gangone, and then the pectoral Poseidon and Rex Lawless. How did this come?
Don't forget Marty Flames.
Well, no, I did. I said Marty. Marty was the first one I said.
Sorry, I'm going deaf.
No,
Yes.
no problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
put him over. I can say it twice.
So how did that come together for a group of this magnitude? And again,
Isn't
a
that
life-changing one. Like that.
Listen, and I'm not even choking my own ego. What an impressive group of people. I mean, that is, you put that against any faction in any company across the world, and that is intimidation right there. We're talking, I mean, the experience combined is, I mean, over 30 years plus together. It got to be even more than that. It came together. Listen, so everything I do is with intention and purpose. I don't show up anywhere just to show up anywhere. And I think you've realized that with how Joe Ocasio processes things and how he
Yep.
thinks. So, Full Faith. I was the first ever Full Faith heavyweight champion, right? And Mike Magnum, who was the owner, not big secret out there, he wasn't too thrilled about it. You can even see it. There's a picture online somewhere of him posing with me after I won. He just had this look on his face like, man, I wish it was somebody else. And, he's somebody acts like he gave me an opportunity, but he really didn't want it. And he put me in every disadvantaged position that he could till eventually he got what he wanted. He wanted Matt Striker to be his heavyweight champion. And I get it. Matt is a fantastic wrestler. He's a great person. He has a lot of experience. He's been on television. He was in WWE for over 10 years. I get it. But still, for a man that preaches faith, for him to go out of his way to spitefully, forcefully take me out of the championship picture when I was Jack Gallo, that bothered me. And I thought about it. And I thought about other people that might have felt slighted by Full Faith Wrestling, right? My first order of business, though, was Cesar Bononi. Cesar Bononi wasn't being brought in to have a match. He was being brought in to just sign autographs. And if you know anything about Cesar Bononi, he's not showing up anywhere because he wants to just sign autographs. He wants to compete. Yeah. And he had never won a championship in North America. So I was the one who pitched to him, come team with me and let's do something unique and special. And I hinted about tag team championships. He loved it. Orlando signed off that if whoever won that tag match against Gangone and Malloy, they were going to get a championship match whenever they wanted. And we cashed in that night. And then from that moment on, I gave Cesar an opportunity that he has never had before. In his illustrious career, that guy has been in NXT. He dominated NXT. He's in AEW. He is an elite superstar in pro wrestling. And I was able to give him something he never had. And he felt loyal to me for that. I changed his life for the better. Marty Flames, I mean, you should have an own podcast on your own about how much that he has problems with Mike Magnum. And all the times Mike Magnum has been a fake friend to him and given him fake opportunities and held him down so he can get past himself. Then you got Rex Lawless. Rex Lawless has respect for Marty Flames, and he has respect for me. We go way back. We started training together back years and years and years ago. And when he sees how Marty Flames has been treated, and he has his back, and listen, he is a former NYWC champion. He is one of the most well-respected veterans in that building. When he sees things going wrong in his own building, a place that he helped build, and he sees that there's two sides, and there's one that's right and one that's wrong, and when his friend is on, he's going to go with the people he knows have his back. And finally, Anthony Gangone, one of the absolute best professional wrestlers today. Mark my words. I have had my fiercest battles in the ring against that man, but that has brought us closer as friends. I mean that truthfully. I love that man. That poor guy, we had to have that match. Had to do what we had to do, Cesar and I, with him and Malloy. And then what happens? He keeps getting put in situations that aren't in positive light for him, right? He keeps getting misused in a company that should be using him to his prime ability. I mean, who could misuse Anthony Gangone? Even I saw it. So I went to him. I said, hey, man, don't you think it's time that we show these people, Mike, this person, show this company what you're truly made of, what we're made of? All those things came together. And then there was the results. A group of 5 human beings that could take on literally anyone. Hey, I know that I change lives, but it's them who put the work in, and they are the reason together We are the reason there are results. And now here's where we're at, Ray. I'm the champion. I have the tag team championships in my camp. We established the free bird rule, which means everybody that is associated with me is a champion in that company. And now what's going to happen is this. I'm going to dominate. I'm going to hold this place to the absolute T. I'm going to hold this championship as long as I damn well please. And I'm going to make sure that Mike Magnum experiences every bit of pain and mental torture and suffering watching his baby be raised in my arms. That's
Well then,
what I'm going to do, Ray.
let's keep it going here. Again, the results are there. Again, it's been proven. The whole group is holding
And
gold.
listen,
It's
last thing, Ray, I'm sorry, Joey Silver. I love him. I don't really have a problem with him. I mean, I think he's a good dude, but unfortunately, man, he what I have to do, it's a sacrifice.
and we're gonna get into that because again, Endure will be this Saturday from that very famous NYWC Sportatorium there in Deer Park. And again, you have this matchup. You just said it there again. This is all business here, and it's a life
Yeah,
changing one
yeah, no,
for
it's
Sweet
not
Cheeks.
personal, but like I'm gonna hurt. Like it's not. Look at me, dude. Like I'm not playing around. I'm in ridiculously good shape. I'm a veteran of over 10 years. I am champion of this company. I belong to be champion of every freaking company there is. There is not many people on this planet who can mess with me. There's not many people who can stand toe to toe and do damage to me. I am mentally tougher than I've ever been. I am physically in ridiculous shape, and I am ready to show every single person that shows up to the NYWC Sportatorium this Saturday, May 28th, against another guy who has had some incredible opportunities, a guy who was a former champion, a guy who was on AEW. I am going to make an example out of Joey. Unfortunately, it's nothing personal. If he ends up in the hospital, hey, I mean, I'll send a card.
Hey, there you go. Let's keep it going here as we have a more positive comment here from Alfred. Hey, my broadcast partner at the project,
Yeah,
saying
man.
Joe, much love always, brother. Thanks for all the encouragement through the years. There you go. Again, that
Dude,
that
another.
brotherly love.
I mean, I really did. It means a lot. The respect from my peers really like I've told some of them in confidence. And I haven't said this in any really. I when I stopped, I lost my confidence for a while. Like as I really like I was pretty low after the injuries. I had a couple of matches when I came back from my injury that just I just wasn't me. Even the matches that were good, just good. You know when you watch yourself and you just know you're not you. Like that's literally how I felt, and I kind of felt like I didn't belong. That's part of the reason I stepped away. So when I came back, and to have people like Alfred and I mean everyone that just showed me so much respect, it brought me back to life. It really did. That's why I'm still doing this because it really meant that much to me, and it still does. So the kind words, really, thank you a lot.
No, I'm definitely am glad as well that you did come back and you found that fire and that passion to stay. Because again, you have been killing it and are one of the great parts of a lot of the rosters I've been able to see. So it's always good to see you around. But here we go. We got some more comments as well. Hey, our buddy Conrad from Everything Pro Wrestling saying nice belt. Hey, he has two right now. Two
It's a
championships currently.
championship title. No, I'm kidding. No, thank you.
Hey,
It is pretty damn nice. I do give credit to Full Faith for making this incredible championship that will now only be around my waist forever. And Matt Stryker's lucky he got to touch it. If he ever comes back, I'll beat him again, just so you know.
all right, there you go. If TJ's still in the chat, he definitely would have corrected as well that it is a championship. But here we go. We got Wes and Kyle in the chat. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you always for the support. They're definitely going to be there at Project Codename Wrestling
Awesome.
on the
Yeah.
11th. So we'll definitely be talking about
Great.
that in a little bit.
Yep.
And here we go. I knew they were going to be fans of this. Anthony Angone is our guy. Awesome seeing him Saturday. Yep, Saturday again. Maybe Joe Ocasio needs to make his way to Titan because unfortunately Anthony was kind of screwed that night.
You know, every time, listen, like I said, every time I'm watching everything, And every time I see someone I care about get mistreated, my eyes are open and my communication lines are on. So, I just don't like things to be predictable, though. I like for everyone to just have that little voice in the back of their head. Is something life changing going to happen today? Maybe one day it will.
Ooh, there you go. Again, it always is just in the blink of an eye. Well, let's talk about that a little bit as well as we have those tag titles are going to be defended.
Hell
Like you
yeah.
said, Freebird rule
Freebird
is
will look at that
instated there. That's
team.
always great. Look
Yeah,
at that.
so I
That's a
mean,
huge squad right there. It's Caesar Bernoni. You have Rex Lawless and then Anthony Gangone
formidable,
against,
man. Those are formidable points. Go ahead.
and then you have the Audacity and the Omen representing the Revelation here.
Yeah.
This should be good. This is definitely going to be a good contest right there.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be. Listen, um, I already spoke about how great everyone that is in my result zone is, but I mean the Audacity, former NYWC Tag Team Champions. You look at those guys; those are two wrestlers. Those are athletes. I won't sit here. I see. I'm a fair man. I love who I love, and I'm with my people. But I mean, I have respect, and I admit the truth. Those guys are formidable tag team, and I know Omen hasn't been seen that much from a lot of people, but Omen is a big son of a gun himself. He's stronger. He's stronger than he realizes. And but having said all that, having said, I'm saying how great the Audacity and Omen are to let you know that it's going to be that sweet when King Cone, Rex Lawless, and Caesar Bononi beat the holy hell out of them and retain the Full Faith Wrestling Tag Team Championships for my camp. I have so much faith. Funny word, right? I have so much faith in everybody that is with me that I don't need to be in the match for it to be defended successfully. That was a choice that I made. And it's gonna be a match to watch. I'm gonna be backstage peeking through to see how everybody does.
That's going to be great. I'm glad I'm going to be able to be there in person as well to see
Awesome,
the
man. Yeah,
amazing action. So that's going to be fun.
yeah, I
But
can't
here we
wait.
go.
Great.
But also, again, let's talk about this. Chris mentioned it earlier. He was a little disrespectful when he brought it up. But now let's get your retort here. As on June 4th, you're going to be back again in the Sportatorium as you'll be teaming up with someone you definitely know throughout the years as well, Dr. Redacted. A little bit of a change here against the team of Fight or Die. And I will say, before we get to your comments on this, it is insane to see how all four of you have evolved throughout the years.
Yep.
And now we get to this matchup at Remarkable Wrestling.
It is.
So your thoughts here on Fight or Die?
Well, it's no secret. Cream of the crop. I told you before, I do things for reason, for purpose. It's not always so in your face as to why. So I very angrily came up behind Dominic and choked him unconscious with my shirt. And I screamed and I yelled and I took the microphone and I called Chris Spartan a pissant. And I said that I would challenge them with a partner of my choosing for June 5th. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself that, wow, he must have a serious problem with Dom. Truth is, I love him. I mean it. I care about Dom. But because Dom of all, I have had a hand, and I don't take full responsibility, but I've had a hand in developing many of the performers that you see, not just on the Northeast, but let's talk specifically about Remarkable Wrestling. There's a lot of Joe Ocasio lessons, thought processes, time in the gym. It's in that company. Dom, of all the people that I've had a hand in training, has always had the most respect. But even he forgot where he came from. When you look at that roster and you think about how many people came out of a wrestling school that I was involved in, and I know exactly who didn't speak up and didn't want me to be part of the first inaugural show. And it's funny how nobody speaks up. Some people spoke against. And then here I am, just watching, and thinking and planning. You see, I don't want to hurt Dom. I want to help him. I do. I wanted to remind him of who I was first, A, and then B, I'm going to help him. And I'm going to help Barton. But Barton's different. See, Barton, a long time ago, used to act like he had respect for me, used to come up to me, shake my hand, used to talk to me, see how I was doing, and then flip of a switch. All of a sudden, the only person who ever had a hand in training him was Grim Reaper. Only one? Really? How long is it until Grim Reaper? Nah. Right? See where I'm going with this? There's a generation of guys now who are disrespectful little punks that forgot who they came from. They forgot who their maker was. I have been a provider of my time and energy at a time that I could have just been excelling myself. I gave my time, my energy, and my life to people like them. And you're not going to step in and think about me at a time where something is starting when I'm supposed to be a part of it? You think I'm just going to sit there and let you spit in my face? No. It's not going to happen like that. It's from the right place. And there is a guy I've known for a long time that didn't forget, and that was Redacted. So I spoke to him. We had a conversation. He has enough respect for me to say, yeah, I'll come in and beat the shit out of those two assholes. Excuse my language, but that's how he speaks, right? Because he agrees, like, there needs to be a lesson learned. And I know that they talk so much smack, right? They curse, oh, I'm going to beat the shit out of you because fight or die. Who taught you to be intense? Who taught you how to fight? That was me. You want to see something? Everyone out there, you want to come to NYWC Sportatorium June 5th? You're going to find out real fast. This isn't a game. That disrespect won't be tolerated. And by the end of it, at least Dominic De Niro, he'll see his light. Barton, we'll see.
There you go. That's gonna be again. That's gonna be a fight. I can't wait to see that. But from there, let's calm things down a little bit. let's calm things down a little bit. Let's keep it going. As on June 11th, you're gonna be pretty busy. There's a lot of places that need some life changing.
That's true.
So let's start with this. As on June 11th, you're going to be at Warriors of Wrestling, as you'll be challenging for their prestigious championship there, the Warriors of Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship, against none other than Wrestling Rich's prize, the All-Father himself, Darius Carter.
Yes,
Your
sir.
thoughts on this matchup right here?
When it comes to Darius, we have had quite a series. There used to be mutual respect. Now it's just, look, this situation, I'm in a unique one because I hate saying this, but I've had multiple opportunities for the championship, and no matter which way you look at it, I don't have the Warriors of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Okay, I can't front on that. I can't change that, and I'm not going to be a liar. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to the fans. I'm not going to lie to myself. There's been a lot of involvement, even after, for example, Abdul Nasir. Carter's a very, very smart dude. It's all him. I know it's all how he plays his mind games, and he's the master manipulator, and he uses everything to his advantage. He has done it every single time. And Abdul Nasir has been involved every single match that we've had. And now it's down to this. This is what it's down to. Whether he gets involved and gets injected and comes back, or whether he's handcuffed and gets unhandcuffed, I have to be prepared for any and everything. And this is it. I'm not stupid. Okay. I beat Joey Ace. It was tough. And I know that was my last number one contendership match to face Darius Carter. So it's do or die. I have two options. I can either go in there and walk out champion, or I have to kind of face reality, and that maybe that, last time I was Warriors of Wrestling champion was 2014, and I co-held the title. So I never felt, I never got vindicated there. I don't have that vindication at 30 years old as a man. I know I didn't do it the right way. And it burns my soul to think that this is the last chance, but it also is that same fiery passion to know that I am prepared for all of Darius's tricks. Every damn tool he has in his tool chest, I know what's in there. And I have counter punches ready. And I mean, straight up, this is going to be a match. It's going to be a match of the year for me. I know, because I know how prepared he's going to be, but I'm willing to leave it all out there. And Ray, if I don't come home with the championship, man, at least I will know that I've given 100%, but I am prepared to beat the ever loving piss out of that man. He's the all father. I'm about to make him the all loser. I am going to leave him without the one thing that he thrives on. That's being champion. I take that from him. I take it all.
All right, there you go. That definitely will be a life changer for him. Because again, we know how Darius thrives on holding gold and having what he feels like is the power in any company.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
there you go.
That's changing.
But again, let's now go into this. Because again, like I said, June 11th is going to be pretty busy because as well as Warriors of Wrestling, you're looking to change lives back in Union County for Project Codename Wrestling Presents Exodus.
Yes,
Again,
sir.
it has been announced that you will be at Exodus,
Mm-hmm.
but yet an opponent, yet what you'll be doing. Last time we saw you at the project, I was witness there. I called the action, and we saw your open challenge that you hand selected. At the time, he was known as Yankee TDM. We've now been revealed he is Yankee Ocasio. And you have changed his life, giving him not only the quickest match in Project Codename Wrestling, but now you've started his career in the project.
It's true. He's a part of history. Now he is. And it was mere coincidence that we shared the last name. How amazing can fate be? When it pertains to Yankee and the whole experience at Project Codename Wrestling, I mean, I presented a challenge and no one wanted to take it. Not surprised. Who wants to get embarrassed in a company that's brand new against the man they know is going to be on the top of that company? I mean, I understand. But I decided no matter what, I was going to create a life-changing experience. And I was going to do something positive for somebody while I do so. And I know from the outside, man, it didn't look so good. I bring somebody in the ring, and as soon as we shook hands, I took him down, I kneed him in the face, and I pinned him 1, 2, 3. But what a lesson that was for Yankee. Be prepared at all times, even when somebody's acting there like they're your friend. Chris Barton, Tom De Niro. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And in that moment, we made history. Isn't it so important to make history? I made history with somebody on his first night. He has the quickest loss in Project Codename history. It's not great history, but it's the last time it'll be bad. But the most important thing is I have the quickest victory in Project Codename history. Everything about that night was history making, revolving around me. And what's nice is it was a surprise, wasn't it, Ray? And I like surprises. So I have I have a lot on my plate in Staten Island. I have a full plate in Staten Island on June 11th, but I have a feeling I'm going to have plenty of room for dessert in Union County for Project Codename Wrestling, because my project is going to start becoming very more clear and insightful with what I have planned on June 11th. And if you thought what happened with Yankee was life changing, wait until you see what I have in store on June 11th.
Well, then I can't wait to see it. And again, I'll be calling the action there with Alphonse Stevens, who was in the chat earlier. I do have to ask one more thing when it pertains to Project. I'm not sure if you saw his video, but Chris Barton put out a little bit of a of a promo talking about his matchup as he has the main event scramble that he should be focused on. He has
And
5 other competitors,
Mhm.
but still he had time to mention your name.
Isn't that
So
funny? I mean, dude, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like the people like him, they expose themselves and they unravel. I know where he is in his life, in his wrestling career, and I know where his ego's gotten to. He's in a main event match against some of the absolute top talent, not just in Project Codename Wrestling, in like independent wrestling, period. And he's thinking about me. Chris Barton, I'm so sick of your Bushwick Beast nonsense. I'm so sick of you and people like you thinking that you're something so above this industry, thinking you're above the people who paved the way for you to be able to do what you love to do. I'm sick of people like you who neglect to give respect to the people who gave you the knowledge that you then used to then make a name for yourself. Um, I remember giving him my elbow pad. I actually gave that guy my elbow pad out of love because he needed one. And I just think to myself now, like that moment, and then I look and I see what he has to say about me in Project Codename Wrestling. And I think about how he had nothing to say about me prior to this when Remarkable Wrestling was starting. You know, it's just funny perception, right? Because perception is reality. And the perception about me a lot of times is questionable. But when you really look at actions and you look at what people actually are doing, it's pretty clear, right? So I will tell you this, Chris Barton. Um, good luck. Good luck in your main event match. I'll be watching. Um, and I would focus on that. And June 5th, you can focus on me because I'll be focused on you.
well, then we should also mention that because it will be a week prior. So hopefully Chris Barton is
Oh
able
yeah,
to compete in the main event scramble. Because you'll be fine for your matches, but will Chris be fine for his?
Ray,
So
you really had to say that out loud.
hey,
That's
it's
all I'll leave it at.
we'll leave it there. But here we go. We have the Scarecrow in the chat saying life changing. There we go. Well, he should be worried too because again his group and Revelation are again facing your championship faction here.
It's true. I mean, but you know, this is what I'm saying though, and this is what I was saying before. I give respect and honor where it's deserved,
Yeah.
and you know, it's a clean match, man. You know, that tag match is three of the best that Full Faith has to offer against another three of the best that Full Faith has to offer, and you know, I know what the outcome is going to be, but it doesn't mean that I don't have, you know, I don't have any problem with Scarecrow, and I sincerely wish him the best in his match with Mike Magnum the same night, and I'll gladly watch that too. Big smile on my face. Watch that bald idiot get punched.
Well then, let's keep it going here because there's one more show we can talk about.
Sure.
This again, there's a it's a confirmation you will be there, but still again, I guess you'll be left to a surprise for Ridgefield Park, as Colossal Championship Wrestling is confirmed. They're gonna have a life changing experience at their Unleashed show,
It's
their
true.
very first show here, and you'll be there. But I will mention this. I'm not sure if you heard, but when I had the Blood Brothers and OTP on the podcast, they kind of threw your name around as well because they allegedly were told, again, this is from what they told me on the podcast, that CCW management was throwing around the idea of a possible new version of Team Talent facing them that night.
Here's the thing. It's no surprise. I love tag wrestling. I don't always need to be the heavyweight champion. Sometimes I have other interests. Being a tag team champion, in my opinion, is just as it's a championship in this illustrious industry. It's just as honorable, just as respectful, and it's an art that I think gets overlooked sometimes. And I'm not going to sit here and give too much. But there is kind of a couple of people that, well, exactly four other people that I officially am tag team champions with elsewhere. And, you know, you never know when I might want to make a phone call and take a trip to New Jersey with any of those four gentlemen. There's another doctor that really likes being hired to hurt people too, that I happen to be having a tag team match with on June 5th. And there's just so many opportunities. But hey, who knows? Maybe I do want to go over the heavyweight championship. You'll never know. The only way you will know is when you show up. August
There
20th.
you go. There you go. Again, that's why they always say you have to be there in person. You're gonna want to see the action. Because again, it's always, as the SAT would say, expect the unexpected. Because you never know
You never
when you'll
know.
be able to have the experience of some life-changing Joe Ocasio.
Well, if you have even paid attention a little bit, every time that Joe Ocasio was on a show, something surprising, fun, interesting, and that you'll least expect is going to happen. And there is nothing better than a life-changing surprise. I feel bad for those who don't show up when I'm there. I really do, because I want to make your life better. Genuinely, I want to change your life. Don't miss out on that sitting on the couch eating potato chips doing nothing. That's just going to hurt you. Come watch. Come get your life changed. Plenty of
Definitely.
opportunities.
Definitely. Again, we went through it here. There's multiple shows. I definitely will be at least confirmed for now. Two of those shows I'll be there. One of them getting to call that very special experience that again
Awesome.
you're gonna want to come out and see on June 11th. I'll definitely be calling that action with Alphonse Stevens. I know Alphonse is not too fond of your life changing ways at the project, but again, hey, it's
I mean, listen, you gotta understand. He'll get there. He's just too used to Jack Gallo and not realizing that Joe Ocasio is just doing everything for bigger and better reasons and for everybody's best interest.
That's the best way to put it. But let's keep it going here. Joe, I don't want to take up too much more of your time here. Again, you're a very busy man. You're changing lives as we speak. So let me get to the final question here that I love to ask everyone. And again, when it comes to the life changing Joe Ocasio, what is the end goal for you?
My end goal, to be quite honest, is to just leave a legacy that I can look back on and be proud of. And it's really hard to give you a final destination to say that. A lot of wise people have taught me along my road that a lot of times it's really not about the destination, it's about the journey. And that's what people find at the end of their road is it was about the journey the whole time. So my mantra, since kind of going back to singles and doing this whole new um, version of myself is appreciate the journey and make the most out of every opportunity that you're given. And I hope to just make myself available and impress enough people to have more opportunities to be in front of large platforms, to work with the best talent in the world, to provide the best entertainment that I can to all the people who have been supporting me and watching me over the years. And if I can continue to do that while my body still holds up, I'll be able to go to bed with a smile at night when this is all over. So that's probably the best answer I can give you.
Awesome. No, that's perfect right there. And again, like we said, there's many opportunities to continue to see his journey coming up this month. Again, this Saturday It's going to be Full Faith Wrestling presents Endure. The following week, June the 4th, you'll get to see him at Remarkable Wrestling. Then that following week, you have two chances. If you're in the Staten Island area, go see him challenge for that Warriors of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship at Warriors of Wrestling there against Darius Carter. And then in Union County at Project Codename Exodus, you're going to have to tune in to see what he does, but you can be promised this, it will be life-changing. So there you have it. Again, go follow Joe as well on his social medias. Go follow him on Instagram right there, Joe_Ocasio, on Twitter at Joe_Ocasio. Joe, thank you so much for coming on. This has truly been a pleasure, and it's been a life-changing experience here on Respect the Craft.
Happy to do it, man. Happy to change your life, Ray. And awesome podcast. This was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. And again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. This has been episode 49. Stay tuned next week for a huge episode 50 with a very special guest that Joe might know very well, but you guys are going to have to stay tuned to find out who it will be.
Too.
So, till then, don't forget, as always, guys, to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people. And as always, respect the craft. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.